What's going on, you group of nerds? I have for you this week a matchup preview. Week 8 matchup previews. Let's get going. We're starting off with Dude Where's Lamar, obviously the most clever team name in the league, versus Unleash the Tua, which is odd because Tua's actually starting and Jared doesn't even have him on his roster. Instead, he's starting some guy I don't think any of us have ever heard of, Pat Mahomes. What a loser. Of course, Mahomes is facing the ferocious New York Jets. On the surface, you look at that and say, hey, great matchup. However, this is Le'Veon Bell's revenge game, and I expect Le'Veon to eat and eat and eat and eat some more, like he's had an all-you-can-eat buffet on a cruise ship. Le'Veon Bell's going to crush it. Pat Mahomes, not so much. Tyreek Hill, by extension, not so much. I don't expect they're going to need Mahomes to do much of anything in this game. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's probably still going to throw for 250 and 2 touchdowns. But that's it. So looking at the rest of Jared's team, that's pretty much his entire team is Mahomes and Tyreek. And oh my goodness, Josh Jacobs has just been slapped with a questionable tag. Oh, just what Jared needs. But at least Jared gets Christian McCaffrey back this week because that's what Jared's been saying for weeks, right? Oh, no, wait. McCaffrey still on the IR. Looks like maybe next week, big guy. On my side of things, not really a whole lot to talk about. I've got better players than Jared. So, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on this matchup. Bold prediction in this one is that Henry Ruggs III is going to be the highest scoring wideout on the entire week. He's going to go for $150 and 3 touchdowns as he's going to connect on 3 long bomb touchdowns en route to me getting the W. I beat Jared. Of course I do, because I don't ever lose to Jared. So not going to lose to Jared this week. So I was in Fantasy Church. I paid my homage to the fantasy gods, and they're rewarding me with, 60-point Ws, which I very well could get again this week. So the Spicy Junior versus your deepest fantasy. So we got a battle of old high school buddies, Tony Jr. versus Justin Beltran. So needless to say, Tony really needs to get Roethlisberger out of his lineup at Baltimore. That's a nightmare. Got to play Matt Ryan at Carolina, although I don't love that either. But Julio's healthy. When Julio's been healthy, Matt Ryan's been a beast. I think that Devontae Adams is going to be an animal in this one. Mike Evans is actually a playable guy because Chris Godwin's out. What this really hinges on for Justin to have any chance in hell is Joe Mixon going to play? Is Carlos Hyde going to play? If those guys are both out, Justin has no chance. Just none, especially since Tony pulled the veteran move and picked up DJ Dallas to block Justin from getting a potential starting running back. Great work. Very smart move. Honestly, these two teams are absolute trash heaps. It's no surprise you're both near the bottom. Justin had one huge week, and as I keep saying, he really should have capitalized on that week and gotten a better team and moved some of these guys that are just not going to perform. Joe Mixon and Mike Evans chiefly among them. But, like I said, Justin doesn't appear to be very good at fantasy, so here we are. Now, bold prediction time in this game. Richard Rodgers, the tight end, filling in for Zach Ertz, filling in for Dallas Goedert, is going to be a top 5 tight end play this week against Dallas. I got Richard Rodgers going for at least 60 and a score en route to the Spicy Junior, easily bitch slapping Justin. Justin's going to take this L. He's going to have to eat it. Does he like eating it? No, but he's going to have to eat it. Now, we're going to go on to Cobra Kyler versus Black Tuna. So we got Little Joe Garbade versus Gianni Vetri. And, it's got to hurt John that he's rolling out Drew Brees in a terrible matchup at Chicago when he could have had Carson Wentz against the Dallas Cowgirls. He's just sitting out there in free agency. Joe plucked it up. Great bye week fill in. And, these are the kind of moves that have led to Joe being 6-1 or 7-1. Or he's about to be 7-1, but 6-1 right now. Don't love the matchup for Kenny Golladay, but he's Kenny Golladay, so he probably wins anyway. Brandon Ayuk at Seattle, great pickup and play. Of course, you gotta love Kittle, even though he's facing Jamal Adams. Kittle can go off against anybody any given week. On John's side of things, man, it is ugly over there. Zeke Elliott is finished. He's got nothing left. Should have sold Zeke. Right now, John doesn't really do any moves unless he's just bailing out his butt buddy Reese. But Zeke is a guy, if I had him right now, I'd be selling him for pennies on the dollar. There's no way he's going to return first-round value. That entire offense is shot. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Zeke did not finish as a top 15 running back this year. In fact, bold prediction, I'm going to say Zeke does not have more than 9 fantasy points, and he would need to get a touchdown to get to 9 this week. So John's going to be in trouble. Joe's going to take this down fairly easily. I'd like to see the upset happen, but it's not going to. Joe gets the win. Now, Jason Exotic versus Old Teddy Touchdown, rivalry game, Jason versus Reese. Now, I would like to remind you, Jason, that Reese has been one of your chief rivals since the days at AT&T. Honestly, do we even know who the better sales rep was between you two? Well, maybe this matchup can determine who the better man is. So we got Allen Robinson, questionable, probably not going to play. He's in the concussion protocol, short week. Don't like that. Russell Wilson, of course, dominant against anybody. Teddy Bridgewater, you got to applaud the guts of Reese to just throw out Teddy Bridgewater week in and week out, a guy that has finished over 20 fantasy points just once this year, in a year where every quarterback's finishing over 20 fantasy points. Teddy Bridgewater's done it one time, but this could be a big week, and we'll get to that in a second. Edwards-Helaire is absolutely useless. He's a total bag of shit now that Le'Veon Bell is going to be integrated into the offense. He'll probably do fine against the Jets, but he's a matchup play moving forward. Swift is great as long as Matt Patricia doesn't shoot him in the foot. You got Robert Woods against Miami. That's pretty good. The Chicago D, it's probably about time to bail on them. They do not have a great rest of season schedule, but defense is terrible out there, and the Bears get sacks, they get turnovers. So even though they're going to give up some points, they're going to score a little bit of fantasy points. I guess that's all you can hope for. Reese is finding out this year that if your defense isn't scoring 20 plus every week and you don't have a quarterback that's scoring 28 every week, you have to actually manage your team. He didn't have to last year. He had Lamar in the Patriots defense and, carried him. And basically, we're seeing the results. Reese isn't that great. Of course, I beat him in the greatest fantasy game of all time last week. But it's neither here nor there. Now, on Jason's side of things, love Le'Veon Bell this week. In fact, that's my bold prediction. Le'Veon Bell outscores Edwards-Helaire. That's how it's going. He's going to. Derrick Henry at Cincinnati is downright frightening. That is scary. Henry could have a mega game. So I'm going to go ahead and just go put Jason at the W here. Obviously, Jason gets the win. So that brings me to, do I review Steve's game or not? And I talked to Senior. He wants me to review it, so I'm going to review this game. I don't want to do this. I'm going to. So Princess the Cat, the undefeated Princess the Cat, mind you. Senior has never lost, going back 3 years now when his team name was Princess the Cat, versus Cheat Code. And again, I really have to thank Steve for paying homage to my quarterback. I don't know why he does that, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Steve. Lamar appreciates it. Looking at these two teams, they tell a different tale. I mean, Steve might be ahead in the standings, but that's not going to last beyond this week. You got Kelsey, Gaskin, Henderson, Rojo, all should have great weeks. A.J. Brown against Cincy. Aaron Rodgers at home against the Vikings. Yikes. That is a problem. Now, on Steve's side of things, Metcalf has an awful matchup. Tannehill at Cincy ought to be very good. Gurley might do something, I guess. He might fall into the end zone. I mean, we all know Gurley's a bag of shit. He looks awful on the field, but he's fallen into the end zone a bunch of times. That's where he derives his value from. And that's plenty valuable. So Gurley, if he falls into the end zone, maybe he gets you 13 points or so. I don't know. Waller's a bum. I traded you Waller because he sucks, and he's going to continue to suck. That's all there is to it. JaMychal Hasty is absolutely not playable, but you don't really have any other guys you even could play. So, bold prediction. I don't even know what to do with a bold prediction with these two teams. I'm going to say that Darrell Henderson has an explosion game. 20-plus fantasy points for Darrell Henderson. I'm talking $130 and 2 tutties. En route to Princess the Cat, remaining undefeated. Senior gets the W. There's your matchup previews. Suck it, turds.